Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Podcasts everywhere, also Facebook Live, YouTube, and talklawradio.com. I'm here with Joseph Warren, a financial advisor with Financial Planning HQ. We're talking about how to leave a legendary legacy. And since this is our fourth segment, we like to talk about our own legacy. Okay. Well, I forgot in the Sinners and Saints segment to bring up a saint.
Oh, yeah.
Well, everybody thinks Mother Teresa. You know, she was giving. She's famous for helping poor people find medication.
Yeah.
And so many people attribute sainthood to her. But who's more of a saint than Mother Teresa? That left a legendary legacy.
First person comes to mind is Jesus.
Yes. That's what I wanted to say, is who could leave a better legacy than giving people eternal life? He died, and our inheritance isn't eternal life.
Wow. Yeah. Man.
That's the best legacy. I mean, he had purpose, and he had intention on fulfilling that for all of us.
Yeah. You think about that. I remember someone saying, it was someone famous. I forgot who it was, but he's saying, like, Jesus is definitely the most famous person in the world.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
That's true. That's another part of his legacy, is he's very well known.
Extremely, yeah.
I wanted to mention our seminar that's coming up. And the reason I wanted to talk about legacy at this upcoming seminar and today in our show is I want to teach people how to be more intentional about developing the legacy that they want to leave now. For example, I'm trying to do things for myself and my family now, increasing my skills, learning new things, becoming a better leader at work and at home, so that I have something to leave.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be more financially successful so that I can leave something to encourage my family to not only help the family, but to help the community and the world.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I was talking to my dad about this. I was asking him, what do his friends say about legacy? And his experience is pretty similar to mine, that most people don't think about it or even talk about it. But what he told me was, maybe you've never thought of your life having a lasting purpose on your family or even the broader community, but you do have that power. That opportunity to be something more and to make a difference for an individual, a philosophy, or even a larger set. So that's my father's quote for the day.
I love it.
I want to ask you about your legacy, about your passion for helping the homeless. Tell us about that.
Yeah. I recently made a video about it on my YouTube channel under my name, Joseph D. Warren, if you want to see that. But during the pandemic, the business was slowing down a lot, and I was scared. I was calling one of my friends and basically looking for backup plans, like maybe we can work nights here, do this. And she said, let's go help homeless people. And at first I was kind of angry that she said that, because I was like, I can barely take care of myself. I have a business, people rely on me. But I actually tried it, and I found that it helped me to feel better. I'm saying maybe it starts a little bit selfish, but it helped me to get outside myself and realize there's more to life than just me. And it made me see my own problems with a lot more perspective. So, I have a lot more options than somebody on the street. You started learning people's situations and just learning to connect with people on a human level who are going through hard times. Maybe made some bad decisions, maybe just had hard times fall upon them.
Yeah.
But it's something that I really believe changed my life, made me a more humble person. allowed me to just always have a way of getting an outside perspective on things that I'm worried about. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, every year I interview somebody from the Thanksgiving dinner, Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner, and that's how they got started.
Wow.
Was the father, the patriarch of the family, was a chef, and he said, "I want to feed people
Yeah.
Thanksgiving dinner."
Yeah. It's so I don't know. It's just like the level of joy you see sometimes when you help someone out who's in a really bad situation. It's just you don't often see it in people who are in much better situations. You know, middle class people who have a lot of money. You just see people's face light up, and it's like, yeah, like this is probably what we're meant to do, is really help the people who need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Serve God's people. One of my passions is trying to help people discover Jesus, and to have hope instead of despair.
Yeah.
And so I hope that when I talk about Jesus on the radio and the law and gospel, that people are remembering their faith and learning to live their faith and not be afraid of it. Nowadays, I think it's harder than in previous generations to talk about faith. Some people seem to be hostile about it.
I think that's interesting as a culture that we don't talk about religion, politics, and sometimes even money. Because if you think about what that does, if you don't talk about those things, it just makes you like very easy to control. Your future, you're not talking about your future. You're not talking about the future of your soul. You're not talking about the things that actually matter. You're talking about superficial, like I said, pop culture.
Right.
So I think that's a very interesting thing, and that's a tradition I do not want my family to have. We'll talk religion, we'll talk faith, we'll talk money, and I believe that's the way, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a very good perspective. I didn't think about it in that way, but I will now. I hope that my kids remember me as a religious person that helped them to develop their faith, and I'm hoping that my listeners will do the same, because it is important, and we do need to talk about the issues in government. I hope that we can have those conversations in a civil manner instead of using name calling and other rude and bad tactics.
Yeah, and that's another way they get people not talking. It's like the name calling, the ad hominem, and then it's just like by talking to people who disagree with you. I think that's important. You start to sharpen your own beliefs, and I like to see that instead of like, oh, I heard Ben Shapiro say that, or I heard I don't know the liberal equivalent of Ben Shapiro, but I don't know who that would be.
The guy on HBO.
Bill Maher say that. Like, I like when I hear people have original thoughts, even if they may not be right, or I think they're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thought of some other legacies through the social capital model. People that have really gone out of their way to change things, whether you like it or not. President Barack Obama has a legacy through his Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to remember him
Yeah.
for pushing that through, don't you think?
It has a name on it. People are still saying Obamacare. He's not in office anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Some other things that I remembered and I looked up was I think maybe Steve Jobs will be remembered for bringing a computer to every household.
Yeah. That's a huge legacy. I think he also kind of like, he started the trend of like the jerk boss.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like, I'm a jerk, but I get things done type of mentality. Yeah.
Bill Gates.
Yeah.
With software, Microsoft software.
Yeah.
And then I was wondering whether Elon Musk was given a large inheritance. And so what I found was this quote. He said, "I grew up in a lower, transitioning to an upper middle income situation, but did not have a happy childhood. Haven't inherited anything ever from anyone, nor has anyone given me a large financial gift." Musk said his father never supported him financially after high school in any meaningful way. But my father created a small electrical mechanical engineering company that was successful for 20 to 30 years, but fell on hard times after that. He has been essentially bankrupt for about 25 years, requiring financial support from my brother and me. However, he said, my father deserves credit for teaching me the fundamentals of physics, engineering, and construction, which is more valuable than money.
Yeah.
Because that enabled him to become what he has become so far.
It's that blueprint that you teach kids, like teaching your kids the mentality of being able to start a business or make money. I like that.
Okay. Another purpose might be to advance medicine or healthcare. I learned Dr. Edward Jenner created the world's first successful vaccine. He found out that people infected with cowpox were immune to smallpox. Mark, did we have a call? Okay. Some people want to alleviate poverty, like you.
Yeah.
The quote from Mother Teresa that's famous: "Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love."
I love that, man. That's probably gonna stick with me, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we talked about Jesus. I wanted to ask you, are you familiar with some of the charitable planning that people can do that could also simultaneously benefit their family?
Yeah. One thing I've been seeing a lot of lately is giving while you live kind of thing, of taking your required minimum distributions. So if you put money in an IRA, say like $1 million, at age 73 now, you're required to start taking money out. It's 100% taxable. And a lot of people, especially when they have a lot of money, they don't really need the money.
Right.
So you can take half of it, all of it, even if it's up to $100,000 a year, give it straight to a charity, and it won't get taxed. So
You don't pay tax on that.
Yeah.
That's the qualified
Charitable distribution.
QCD.
Yep. I've been seeing a lot of that.
Well, thank you for joining me today. Had a lot of fun talking about leaving a legendary legacy.
Me too. Thank you, Todd. Thanks for having me on.
And if you're interested in our seminar, which I didn't tell you the details of, email me at host@talklawradio.com. That's HOST@talklawradio.com. I'll talk to you later.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Each week, attorney Todd Marquardt talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law Radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law: don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.